Welcome back to day 2 of our Kangaroo Island adventure. Today we head southwest along the South Coast Road. Our first destination was no surprise to Jazz, however the guided tour that I'd booked that took us onto the beach definitely was. It was really good getting so close to such beautiful animals. The Australian fur seal, quite docile to look at in their natural environment. It was very windy down on the beach, so I had to cut the audio out of the videos. But the tour itself is around 30 minutes long, or thereabouts. They guided us along a path to the beach. There were seals everywhere, mostly just lazing about. As you can see, the tour gets you about as close as it is safe to do so, and it really is an exhilarating experience. We can highly recommend it to anyone wanting an experience of a lifetime. Here we see a family resting up together, except of course that little young one. I think that young one likes to play in the sand. And of course, that's what all children like to do, play. From Seal Bay, we moved on to our next destination. And complete surprise for Jazz, which was the raptor domain, where we were able to get up close and personal to some amazing animals that are native to the area. Birds and reptiles alike.
A few lizards to go around. So we'll have 2 lizards on either side. The way you hold the lizard, what makes them feel most comfortable, is just supporting their front and back legs like so. It's far better to let the bellies hang out like that than hold around the bellies and let their legs dangle. If their legs aren't touching something, that makes them feel uncomfortable. So not going to move around too much. They might wriggle because if you're passing them between each other, they feel a bit unsecure. But otherwise, like so, you can pat them everywhere but their faces. Just don't touch anyone's face because they're not actively going to bite you, but it's just good practice not to put hands around animals' mouths. Because even if they don't intend to bite you, if your finger slips in there, then they probably wouldn't think twice about it.
First up was the reptile show, featuring lizards and snakes, some non-venomous and some venomous. It was a pretty cool show. Jazz loved to hold the snakes. She's a big fan of them. So that was awesome.
Viper, which this one isn't. The saw-scaled viper is found in parts of Southeast Asia. High densities of people, less access to healthcare and anti-venom, and so more people are dying. Whereas we've got incredibly venomous species here. They are dangerous, but they're not going to actively be killing you by a snake. We have access to healthcare and anti-venom by any means. So this is our tiger snake. She is a KI locality, so a lot of people do refer to them as black tigers because a lot of the tiger snakes here are black, but they do come with stripes, and she's just about to shed, unfortunately, so you don't get to see the real vibrancy of her colour, but she is a real, like, goldeny.
That's fair, a lot of people do. You did a lot better than some people do. So yeah, kookaburras are well known for their laughing call. This is one of two species of kookaburra that we have in Australia. So you got your laughing kookaburra, and up north you've got the blue-winged kookaburra, which looks a bit different. But these birds have that beautiful laughing call. It's usually a territorial call though, so they're telling all the other kookaburras in the area, hey, this is my home, my family's home. If you come into my home, I'm going to beat you up. So
Then we moved on to the birds, the raptors. There was a wide variety from owls to falcons to eagles. It was awesome, and being able to have these animals perched on our arms, it was a brilliant experience. From the raptor domain, we moved on to Vivon Bay. The wind again was quite strong there, so the audio was really quite breezy. So as you can see from the footage, the fires did come up and burn up along here as well. But at this point in time, the revegetation is absolutely beautiful. Still not quite warm enough for a swim today, but it was still a beautiful walk along the beach and exploring amongst the rocks. The next day, we left our eastern base camp and headed west. We came to a place where the remnants of last season's bushfires were still prevalent. Amongst the dead and burned husks, there flourished new life, a testament to Mother Nature's will. Here, our new base camp teems with life. Native flora and fauna live on in a wonderful homage to the gift of perseverance. There was plenty of wildlife around the campgrounds as well, from magpies and Cape Barren geese to swans, kangaroos. We even had a couple of resident chickens, and there were plenty of other animals too. So life had returned. So as devastating as bushfires are, you can see the regrowth and the new growth coming in even on trees that have been scorched. It's amazing to see. It's beautiful. Our first stop in Flinders Chase National Park was Remarkable Rocks. These huge boulders that were eroded by time and weather look like they could have been placed there by giants. They truly do live up to their name. From Remarkable Rocks, we moved on to the Cape de Cordic Lighthouse Keeper's home. Now, as you'll see in the video, the home actually has 3 doors on one side, and there were actually partitioned walls that were originally in it. And these 3 walls separated the rooms for the family members. And then there was a main common area and a storage room. And when they had people coming to bring supplies and stuff, which was roughly every 3 months, they would come to the end of the jetty down below, and they would actually have a flying fox which would they would use to hoist up the supplies, and any people that were coming up would come up that same flying fox. And they had 2 horses named Mac and Dolly, who originally would they'd use to operate the flying fox, and then later on they added a engine shed with an engine that drove the winch. The lighthouse itself was a fair walk from the lighthouse keeper's original house. There are some cottages near the lighthouse now, which I'm guessing would have been used once this particular lighthouse was built around 1908. From the lighthouse, a short drive down to the bottom car park is where we start our walk down to Admiral's Arch. Also there is a habitat of New Zealand fur seals. So it's actually a protected area, and there's certain areas that you can't go. The fur seals were much like the sea lions. They just lazed about for the most part, while a few had a bit of a play around. There's a natural archway formed by nature's amazing forces: wind, rain, and of course the sea. Inside the cave you can actually see sometimes, like when we were there were seals lazing about, and it's incredible just to see how the waves crash against the rocks on the other side of the arch.